Hey there, hopefully you guys had fun doing your brain builder switch it up. As you guys were doing that activity, I hope that you are learning that different people can have different feelings about the same situation. Also, sometimes one person can have a different feeling about a situation too. That is what we call having conflicting feelings. And when you have conflicting feelings, although it's different from the other person, you still are working towards showing them empathy. Empathy means that you are understanding how another person is feeling. So as we move forward into our lesson 7 about conflicting feelings, we are now going into our story and discussion. This is Eva. She and her classmates are learning about the difference between solids and liquids. Is that something that you guys have learned about in your science lessons so far? The teacher brought out a strange substance called oobleck for them to experience. But first, she is offering everyone a chance to touch it. Eva has more than one feeling about touching the oobleck. Can you think about how she feels by looking at her facial expressions, by seeing her body movements? What do you think that Eva is feeling? Eva might be feeling curious. She might be feeling nervous. She might be feeling unsure about what this oobleck is and if she wants to touch it. How can you tell that she feels those different things? By looking at her face, looking at her body language, paying attention to the surroundings of the situation. Those are what we call cues in being able to figure out how somebody is feeling. Now, that I've mentioned to you that Eva probably feels a little curious or nervous or unsure, let's think about why Eva would feel curious about the oobleck. I want you to pause the video here, teachers, and I want you to work with students on using the word because. Because is something that we are going to use to describe why we think that this is happening, particularly why we think that Eva is feeling curious. So pause here, and students, I want you to use the word because. Teachers, I want you to pick a ready learner or a few ready learners to tell their because as to why they think Eva is feeling curious. Those were some great observations, boys and girls. Now I want teachers to pause videos here and do the same thing with students using the word because, and I want you to say why you think that Eva might feel nervous. Why might Eva feel nervous about touching the oobleck? Remember, we're using because to describe why we think a specific thing, okay? And so teachers, again, pick some ready learners. Ready learners are focused, paying attention, using their ears for listening, their eyes for focusing. Pick some ready learners to describe their because of why they feel that Eva is feeling nervous. Those are some great observations as well, boys and girls. So if Mrs. E was using her because statement to describe why Eva might feel curious, Miss E would say because it's new and because it's interesting. If Miss E was using her because statement to say why Eva was feeling nervous, it would be because it looks gooey and because it might feel gross in her fingers. Here we learned, boys and girls, that Eva feels two different feelings about touching the ooey gooey substance of the oobleck. She has conflicting feelings. That means she feels different things. And here she feels nervous and curious.